Every great fortune in history began with the same emotion you've been trying to avoid your whole life: fear. How do you transform your fears into the driving force behind real financial success? There is a silent, barely noticeable moment that separates the person who breaks under pressure from the one who breaks through. That moment is fear, and what you do when it hits determines your future. Fear isn't your enemy, it's your guide. It's the spark that ignites growth, the warning flare pointing toward your next big opportunity, the tremor before transformation. Fear has always stood at the gate of greatness, not to keep you out, but to ask one sacred question: are you ready to become more than you are? Most people recoil, they retreat, they build their lives around avoiding risk, judgment, or failure. They shrink from uncertainty, protect themselves from discomfort, and create lives of quiet mediocrity. But the people who leave their mark on history, they don't step back. They take fear by the hand and turn it into fuel. Every fortune, every breakthrough begins with a moment of courage born inside fear. Think about Andrew Carnegie. Fear of poverty pushed him into relentless action, not for greed, but for freedom. Thomas Edison feared irrelevance, yet he illuminated the world. Walt Disney faced humiliation and doubt, and he built a legacy from a mouse and a dream. Henry Ford lost his first company, but returned wiser, stronger, unstoppable. Abraham Lincoln lost more elections than he won. These were not accidents. They were initiations. They didn't avoid fear. They turned it into fuel. Your fear is trying to get your attention. It's screaming at you. Not because you're weak, but because you're on the brink of evolution. It's pointing to where your power lives. But you must stop interpreting fear as a red light. It is not. It is a flare shot across the sky saying, here, right here. This is where your future is being born. Financial success does not flow to the timid. Comfort and avoidance never create wealth. Courage does. And courage is not the absence of fear. It's mastery of it. You must train your mind to see fear as a guidepost, not a barrier. Every dream worth pursuing requires paying the price of discomfort, uncertainty, and sweat. The shift begins when you stop thinking like someone who is broke. Broke minds play defense. They shrink, hoard, avoid. Wealthy minds play offense. They expand, take calculated risks, and see fear as information from the frontier of growth. Mindset isn't positive thinking. It's a battlefield, a daily struggle between who you are now and who you're capable of becoming. Fall in love with the stretch, the strain, the uncertainty. That's where your advantage lives. The marketplace rewards problem solvers, and the biggest problems are always behind the biggest fears. Fear of rejection, failure, or criticism isn't a wall. It's your curriculum. Every challenge you face shapes you into the person who can handle the next level of success. Clarity comes through motion, not waiting. Move despite fear. Speak despite fear. Invest despite fear. Start despite fear. Make fear your ally, not your jailer. Take it with you into every boardroom, every pitch, every opportunity. Let it sharpen you, remind you you're alive, remind you that what you're building matters. You weren't born to repeat old patterns of scarcity. You were born to break them. To build wealth and legacy, you must act while afraid. Courage is born after action, not before. Discipline turns fear into fuel. Every time you do what scares you, you reinforce that you can handle the next challenge. Stop waiting for fear to vanish. It won't. Step forward anyway. Build the vision in your mind. What does freedom feel like? What does success look like, smell like, and sound like? Anchor yourself in that picture. Then, execute. Start before you're ready, because mastery is forged in motion, not in waiting. Wealth is emotional mastery as much as financial skill. Money follows energy, belief, and persistence, not just knowledge. Personal growth drives financial growth. Step into the fire repeatedly until fear recognizes you as the master, not the other way around. Every step you take into fear is a step toward freedom. Every choice to act despite uncertainty strengthens resilience. Every failure is feedback. Every rejection is information. The people who create real wealth don't avoid fear. They harness it. They use it as jet fuel, not quicksand. Stop asking, what if it doesn't work? Start asking, what if I become the kind of person who makes it work? Stop waiting for permission. Decide fully that fear no longer dictates your actions. Build your wealth, your legacy, your freedom by running with fear, not from it. Act with intention, belief, and relentless execution. Fear becomes your forge, your focus, your fuel. Consistency matters. Repetition carves the path from vision to reality. Visualize daily, act daily, and let your behaviors, standards, and environment align with the person you're becoming. Fear will always show up, but it will no longer control you. You become unstoppable, and your wealth becomes inevitable. Not just in dollars, but in freedom, influence, and impact. Do not aim to be fearless. Aim to be courageous. Courage is a muscle, and every act of discipline strengthens it. You begin with tremors and stutters. You end with mastery and momentum. There is no breakthrough without breaking, no transformation without tension. You are not here to feel safe. You are here to become strong. That strength is only forged in the fires of fear, not in spite of them, but because of them. The world doesn't reward the most talented. It rewards the most relentless. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Edison failed thousands of times. Lincoln lost repeatedly. These weren't accidents. They were initiations. Fear was the fuel that drove them to build empires, create revolutions, and leave legacies. You can do the same. You turn fear into early mornings and late nights. You turn it into discipline and decisions. You turn it into a vision so big that the old you cannot survive inside it. You build wealth not by running from fear, but by running with it. Not by avoiding the dark, but by carrying your own light through it. Transformation lives at the edge of everything that terrifies you. That edge is sacred because it is where the old you dies and the new you begins to breathe. Fear is not your limitation, it's your lever. The sooner you stop resisting it and start using it, the faster your world will transform. Every act of courage, every step into discomfort, every choice to act despite uncertainty rewires your identity. Fear cannot survive in the presence of disciplined action. The moment you stop fighting fear and start facing it, everything begins to shift. You stop playing defense. You stop operating from survival. You begin to create from power, purpose, and precision. You start building wealth from overflow, not neediness. You walk into rooms with presence, not panic. You speak your vision without apology. You execute your mission without distraction. You start attracting what once seemed impossible. Let your fear become your forge. Let it become your focus. Let it become the fuel that ignites a level of success you didn't think was possible. Not someday. Today. Today is not just another day. It is a declaration. A moment when you stop living like a question mark and become the exclamation point. Go toward fear. Not recklessly, not blindly, but with fierce intention, deep belief, and relentless execution. Let every no sharpen your resolve. Let every failure refine your strategy. Let every challenge sculpt your character. This is how you turn fear into fuel for financial success. This is how you rise forever forward. No retreat, only becoming.